There could be only one podcast and maybe the Princess of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm still here.
Hey, you are. Are you drinking sweet tea there?
Yes. Very.
Looks like sweet tea.
Looks like sweet. Doesn't smell like sweet tea.
No, it does not.
No, it doesn't. It's what Solo would call fire water,
Yeah.
I believe.
So what are we here to talk about tonight? Silo Book 2.
Shift. Yeah, let's
The
do
Great
it.
Reset.
The Great Reset. Yeah.
What'd you think?
Holy cow. Talk about...
Poignant. Timely.
Very poignant, yes. Thank you for bringing those words out, because my sweet tea mind is probably going to be a little
It was
slow
one of those
tonight.
things. I was
Yeah.
realistic. You know,
I know.
it's my second time through. I was like, oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
us now.
I'm just like, I kind of want a silo now.
I know. For
Can
real.
I have my own?
That's what they're doing there. So we start off with a guy waking up from a deep freeze named Troy,
Yep.
and it is his shift. Supposedly this is silo number 1, I should say, the original silo, or the main silo.
The
we
main
should say.
silo, yeah.
Number
And
one.
it appears that every 6 months, these people wake up from, well, not every 6 months, every 6 months, a shift change happens where these people go into deep freeze for like maybe 100 years or whatever, or 50
know.
years or something like that.
Yeah,
and then they wake up and do 6 month shift and then go back into deep freeze for another
His first shift, I think, was after 60 years.
60. Okay, every 60 years. Okay.
No, that was
Well,
his.
I
That was
mean,
his.
that's
They couldn't
well,
be
I
different.
mean,
Don't they say there's a total of 5 shifts or something?
I honestly
And
don't remember.
this is only his first one or his second
Yeah.
one. It's he's just counting down the days till he gets to his final shift, which is he's got 4 more, but something
Yeah, I
like
think
that. Something
it's
like
supposed
that.
to be 5
he has
shifts.
X amount. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
5 shifts or something at 60 years, something like that, or 6
Yeah.
shifts. I want to say anyway. Regards to that, but they have to go into deep freeze. They're frozen,
Cryogenically frozen.
cryogenically
They're all
frozen
Han
for
Solo'd.
decades at a time. Then wake up for 6 months of a shift, and so he's going through the motions. And
He's in charge.
yeah, he's in
charge of the silo.
He's in charge of the silo, but he just doesn't understand something's wrong. He doesn't know what. He just feels sad inside and dead inside.
Right.
And then we flash back to before
Yeah.
time, before the silos happened. The world is normal. It's 2057 or something like
And
that.
I would say this.
2040.
Oh, 2040 something.
48 or 49.
Yeah, something like that.
And
Yeah.
just before we go too much in the story, just my first time through reading the book, this kind of threw me off because you were expecting follow up to
Right.
a sequel to the first book, but you're getting you're
Yeah, where's
basically getting
Juliet?
the prequel.
What's she doing?
And this book is throwing you into a similar world, but it's completely different.
And it's an awesome. Like I said, it's another layer of mystery that
Yes.
they peel back, and they're slowly uncovering. And,
Right.
and the thing is, it's very interesting because, like you said, we're interested in Juliet, Solo, the people, the mechanics and stuff. We want to hear their story.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you are pulled into the story of Troy, and then the flashback of a guy named Donald.
Right.
Yeah, Donald, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most exciting action name you could think of.
Uh-huh.
But Donald is a newly formed senator.
Yeah.
No, congressman.
Congressman.
From
who is working.
Tennessee.
Yeah, was it in Tennessee or Georgia?
He's from Tennessee. The senator
Oh,
is
you're right.
Georgia.
The senator's from Georgia.
It
You're
took me
right.
a minute to figure that one out.
You're
Yeah.
right. And the senator helped him,
Get
he-
elected.
Yeah, he stumped for him, so he got elected. But the senator did that for a reason.
Yeah.
This
And-
Donald. Oh, go ahead.
Donald's under the impression that the reason he did it was because Donald dated his daughter back in college.
Yes.
Donald is now married to somebody else.
Yeah. And the daughter kind of still likes
Oh,
Donald.
she's a little femme fatale.
Well, she's flirting
Yeah.
with Donald in front of his
Flirting with-
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the wife isn't too happy either with Donald about this. So, but
Or her.
he says, hey, the senator goes, hey, so I need to, he's going to call in that favor now.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I want to see you naked. No, that's not. It's not that kind of book.
It's not that realistic.
We have a boy season 1 scene. But anyway, no, he says, hey, you were an architect. You were in architecture back in college.
Uh-huh.
And you drew a little people living in a silo. I like that idea. Let's expand on that. And so the story bounces back and forth to this guy. I mean, now we're getting close. By the way, Troy's story is way in the future.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
The silos have already gone up. It's been
I would say Troy's story starts. It's still
It's
before
been at least
Wool.
100-something years,
it's,
right?
It takes place
Yeah, it's-
before the
Troy's story
time
takes
period
place
of Wool.
hundreds of years before
yeah,
Wool.
but
But-
you don't find that out until
Yeah, way
Later
later.
on, yeah.
You're really-
he's in the command center and the in charge, and he's in silo 1, and all of a sudden they say, "Hey, we have a problem with one of the other silos."
Yeah,
and it's
and
12,
and
which
it's
we
silo
don't know anything
12,
about.
which we
because
know
that's
nothing about.
we
nothing
know
to do with the
nothing
first
about. And turns out silo 12 falls.
Yeah.
They can't do anything with it, and they release a gas or something like
Yeah.
that. Open up the
doors because
let
they have
all-
a button that can do
Yeah.
all this and just basically shut
Yeah,
down a silo.
It shuts down the silo, and he goes back to his office, and he's got a map with all the different silos on it, and he puts the first X on
on
there.
the silo.
The first-
Yeah,
And
that's-
first silo
that's
to
when I
fall.
realized, I was like, okay, this is way before Wool.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
yes. 17
Lucas-
had already fallen, and we already heard the story a little bit.
Right. And Lucas talks about there being several X's on that map. It's either
Right.
Lucas or Bernard. I can't remember whose
What, yeah,
POV
during
we were
his
in.
during his
But
indoctrination.
there's several
yeah.
X's.
But back
silos that
then,
have been
there's
X'd
only
out.
one
and
X.
he's talking, and Troy is talking about putting that first X,
First
on,
X
there.
on there.
So that's whenever I realized that this is way before Wool.
Yeah. And by the way, all spoilers here, as all of our reviews are on these books. But you should definitely read this. And,
Yeah, you don't even need to read it because we're just going to tell you.
I'm telling you
everything.
what, it's great stuff. I told Megan, I said, you've got to read these.
They
You've
are
got
really
to read
good.
these. They're so
There
good.
was talk when this was brand new that there was going to be a TV series, and it just kind of disappeared.
This would be a little too on the nose right now.
Yeah, we're going to be
Little
living
bit.
it, I believe.
But anyway, so Donald, it's going back and forth between these two stories, and that's basically Troy's story a little bit, as far as we can go right now with it.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Donald's building this. He has a friend named, is it Mick?
Mick or
and then
Mac or
Matt. I think it's Mick.
it's Mick.
I think it's Mick.
you're
And
right.
then Anna is also helping out.
Anna is the senator's daughter.
That's the senator's daughter, and they're all helping out trying to build this, but they're
Right.
kind of not on the same page. Everyone's kind of in secret about what they can do.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own secret project.
everybody's working
There's
on
a
different
governor
projects.
from
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah,
or something
everyone's
like
working
that
on
that's-
some different piece of it. But the senator, every time Donald
kinda like
meets
the
him,
Cube.
he's asking weird questions. He's doing weird things. He's like, "Hey, what do you think of the binding of this 18th century French book?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's really nice. It's threaded and it's in really good condition for a
Yeah.
book that's like over 300 years old." He went, "Yeah, I agree." And but those are telling things later on because we know
Yeah.
that earlier Lucas was reading the books of the legacy.
Yep.
Right.
These,
And-
these books need to last a long period of time.
Last a long
Right.
period of time, which is obviously what that's hinting to.
Yeah, and there's also like in the very first couple of interactions between Donald and the senator, and then Donald and Anna, they kind of in passing refer to these nano baths or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah, we
These
should go ahead and
tiny-
talk about that.
Yeah, these
Because
tiny
the
little
senator's-
machines.
The
that-
senator's really well. He's old, but he hasn't aged in years. It looks like
Right.
because he still looks the same old.
And I would
Right.
say this is kind of in the near future to current time.
It's
Yeah.
it's 2040,
2050 around,
47,
somewhere right there.
49.
yeah, it's
somewhere
not that
around
far
there.
in the future from
Yeah.
where we
So
are.
nanobites
20,
are what the senator
27
uses.
years.
He gets a little nanobite treatment, and it turns his pea gray.
No, that's just a rumor. Yeah, but they talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
evidently the nanobites or whatever get
Well, no,
in
he
your
said-
Get
system.
in there and clean them
They
up.
repair your cells, clean
they-
things out,
Yeah,
clean
and then
toxins, and then that's
they
why your pee is
eject-
gray
but-
because
But Troy's pee is gray when he unfreezes
yes,
at the beginning, and so
Yes.
that's where we see. Oh, so Troy has nanobites in him.
Yeah.
Because we didn't.
well they
we
have
know
to,
what
I
the gray
think they have
pee
to
was.
inject them into it because
Well, yeah,
because
before they sleep or
without
something.
without the nanobites you cannot survive the thawing process.
Yeah.
So
there,
yeah.
we kind of see what that was all about at the at the beginning. Troy gets unfrozen, all this weird stuff. He has to drink this bitter drink, and he has to pee
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever explained the bitter drinks.
No,
never explained, but
I-
I mean that's fine.
That was just
Not-
to hide something that
not-
comes later, I think.
Not that
Yeah, maybe.
Not that. Oh, that's true. Not that it has to be explained, but the nanobites did get explained. The gray pea.
Yeah.
So anyway, we find out the senator's been using these, having these treatments, and everyone knows this. It's not a secret. It's not a dirty secret.
It's a new technology hitting the market.
And Donald talks about how so he hadn't seen Anna, his old college fling,
Yeah.
in several years, and then when she suddenly shows up in his office, and he talks about, or he his inner monologue, he's saying she's just as beautiful, just as like he can tell that she's matured, but not physically. She looks the same, but like her body language is a little bit different, and she's
grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's
Looks
still
the
very
same.
attractive, but he loves his wife and
And he
knows
does-
I just need to keep us some
he
distance.
does not
Yeah.
trust himself around
Yes.
her at all.
Yeah. No, he's very faithful to his wife. What's his wife's name?
Helen.
Helen. Yeah, another just ravishing name. Okay, so, but anyway, I mean, you're interested in this. And later on, during those sessions, he says, hey, guess what? They also make, Iran, was it?
Iran,
What
yeah.
is making nanobites that destroy our flesh. Instead of
Instead
we
of
got-
repairing,
instead of repair it,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
destroy.
the world is going. This is new technology, but we got the mutually assured destruction possibilities with this technology are kind of getting past the ability to control.
Yeah.
Everybody is, all the countries are getting this technology, and people are starting to use it to
for
attack.
back. Yeah.
Right.
And so
he starts talking the senator, who is eventually referred to as the Thaw Man.
the Thaw Man or
Because
Thurman.
there was
Yeah.
his name's Thurman, but they nicknamed him Thaw Man.
It's
There
kinda
was
cool.
there was a cryogenic type thing going on, and he vetoed or filibustered or whatever the
Yeah.
bill.
But he was respected because he owned a
He
large
owned a
portion
bunch
of
of
it.
stock,
but because
yeah.
he closed it, people were like, oh, he going against his own personal interest.
Yeah,
Not
for
knowing
moral
that
issues.
this guy's
Yeah,
smarter than that.
right,
Yeah.
right. But that's how he got the Thaw Man, because there were already a bunch of rich people that had been cryogenically frozen, and they thawed him out
Yeah.
because
Yes, he realizes they don't have the nanotechnology. They're dead. They're
Yeah.
not coming back.
They're not coming
But he also knew he wanted that technology to add to
Yeah.
the new technology.
Yeah. So this revelation, and by the way, Donald's creeped out over nanobites anyway.
yes,
He doesn't even
is.
want them in his skin. But is the senator messing with him, or
I think the center was kind
I
of.
think he was messing
Okay,
with him.
Miss Senator's messing with him. You have him right now, and so he kind of runs out like ooh, like
Yeah.
brush himself.
Yeah, he
off
has to have a
with the heebie-jeebies.
meeting in the
Sauna.
chamber where
Yeah.
he's getting his treatments.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
when he first goes in there, he's like, "Look, these guys like," and that was one of the things that he was
He's watching
trying to scare him was Iran. Well, he asks Donald, "Is like, do you know what your genealogy is and everything like that?" And he's like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really care."
Keep
He's
it-
like, "Iran can tailor these things to if you
Attack
got-
your DNA.
yeah,
your
attack your
specific-
DNA. So
Specific
I mean,
gene.
if they wanted all the Jews to die, even if you got just a tiny little drop,
yeah,
you
And-
know, if they release these, it would kill you or something like that.
yeah. So, and so that kind of freaks Donald
That freaks,
out.
that
And then-
freaks him out. And then yeah, he
And
I
then
think he
Senator
messes
Thurman
with-
says, "Have you ever been to a Turkish prison? Have you ever seen a grown man make it? Have you ever seen a grown man make it naked? What was it? Naked gun? What was it? No, that wasn't naked
was
gun. That was
airplane.
Airplane, yeah.
You ever been to a Turkish prison, Johnny? That's great. But anyway, yeah. So he goes home. He's kind of freaked out because he realizes.
Yeah, well, he gives him the book.
Yeah, he gives him the Book of Order. Say, hey, look at this. And that's
Yeah.
the first time we know about the Book of Order from the previous
Right,
book.
the,
So now it looks like the Book of Order. And so now here is that what it's called, the Book of Order?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Order.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, the order.
And so now he's reading it. He's going, oh my gosh, this is in game. They're thinking there's going to be a massive attack. And he's piecing together that this is what the silos are for. So he's freaking out. His wife's like, you're kind of crazy. You're talking cuckoo. You know, but he's
His wife's
really
thinking
freaking
therapy.
out about this.
Right.
Well, Thurman,
Flash-
I can't remember where we are, but I'm just going to go ahead and get
I think
to
you flash forward about 2 years.
There's a lot of jumping around in
yeah,
time.
there's a lot of jumping around time.
So,
but
so you flash
eventually,
forward Donald's 2 years, and he's taken these. It's basically an anti-anxiety pill.
yes.
That was actually prescribed to his sister, who is a drone operator
For the
We're
Army or
really
something.
jumping far ahead.
Air Force. No, that's right.
we that
No, that's
far?
right.
Is it
No,
that far?
they don't reveal
No,
that
they do.
part.
They do.
Because the thing
They
is,
do.
he's immune to the medicine he's receiving, which is why he's starting to get his memory back.
Whoa. No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No,
Not
no.
yet.
Oh, am I
No,
jumping
Not
we're-
yet.
we're-
You're
we're
jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
We're talking about Donald
yeah, talking
okay.
about Donald here.
back
So-
in
Sorry.
Yes, you're right. And
Yeah.
so, as it's going on, we're about to do the silo. They're cutting the ribbon, so to speak. They finished them, and there's been a change of plan. Thurman says. He says, "I want you at my silo." There's several silos opening up.
Yeah,
And so
it was,
everyone's
so
getting a
this
grant.
the whole thing with the silo is supposed to be the way that they're getting away with building
Building
these
it.
huge silos is that it's supposed to be a last resort, a protection, a silo
Against a raid.
in case. So they're storing the entire world's depleted nuclear rods somewhere in Georgia. And if the facility and the people taking care of it, if there's some kind of fallout, they can get to these silos and be protected.
Exactly.
So that's how they're hiding what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And what was the big meeting, the big meetup that they brought everybody to? What was that again?
Oh, it's supposed to be the.
Oh,
Can we say that and still stay on YouTube?
It was the Democratic Convention. It was
Yeah, it's the DNC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's like what would really happen at the next DNC. I'm expecting this to happen. So they all get there.
Whether they plan it or not.
Yeah, they're planning it totally. They're planning it. Remember in the first book, we did this. There
Yeah.
you go. I mean, that's exactly right. So just to kind of, you want to know what the future is with Biden, we'll just let you know. Anyway,
The Democrats
Biden
are
won't
trying
be
to save
alive
the
at
world.
that point. Kamala Harris is going to push him down the steps of the Capitol in the next month.
do you think Hillary has nanobites?
If she does,
I
they're
would
not
say-
working well for
I would
her.
say, looking at Bill, she's holding him back from it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Thurman says, "Hey, change of plan. You're not going over to the Tennessee silo because everyone's kind of introducing their own silo.
Right,
Each state
right.
is. He goes, you're staying over in the
Yeah, there's
Georgia. I want you
50
next
total
to me."
silos.
The day before, he and Mick, who is one of his best
Yeah.
friends, they go and they tour the silo. Mick's like,
Yeah.
look, I want you to look at what you built.
Yeah.
Because he just has kind of pulled back, like,
Yeah, Donald is not. He's sick to his stomach about what these could be.
He doesn't want to have
And he
anything to do
doesn't-
with it. And Mick's like, look, you need to see what you've built.
Yeah.
And they go down like 2 floors. He
Panic attack.
he kind of has a little panic attack. Has to take some of the anti-anxiety pills. He's claustrophobic. He's like, I feel like the walls and I'm being buried alive. And he's only gone down 2 stories, and the thing's
Yeah.
150 stories deep.
Yeah.
But at that point, Mick's like, he tells him, hey, I pulled some strings. I was offered a position, and I told them I would rather you have it. And so just know that I love you,
Yeah.
yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
Flash forward to the next day.
Yeah. So anyway, Thurman says, sit next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's trying to get a hold of his wife, but the cell phone
many
coverage
people.
is
Yeah,
good.
too many people.
His wife's still
it's,
over in
It's an
Tennessee.
LSU game. You can't get any
I know,
reception.
yeah. He finds out right as the national anthem starts being sung that his wife finally gets a text there and says, hey, she's at Tennessee. She's right over the hill.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to go see her. So he runs to go get her, but at that point, the end.
The bombs start bursting.
The bombs start, the rocket's red glare.
Uh-huh,
The
the
bombs
rockets-
bursting in air, and suddenly there's
Atlanta.
bombs going off everywhere, and they have to run to the silos. And this,
Yeah.
we see, has been planned
Right.
by Thurman and everyone. So he gets separated from
While
his
he's
wife.
trying to go get his
While he's trying
wife,
to get where they have to drag him into the
Anna
silo.
and his sister surprisingly shows up.
Yeah.
We should mention that his sister shows up to see him.
Right.
I thought that was Mick's surprise, was his sister, but I couldn't remember. It's been a while.
No, that was Thurman's surprise.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thurman's
yeah,
surprised to bring
Thurman-
his sister.
Thurman-
So
Thurman
he's
liked
happy to
his
see his sister.
Mm-hmm.
He's happy to see his sister. But then he finds his wife somewhere else and says, oh no. And he gets dragged. They each get dragged to the silos. He's
Mm-hmm.
separated from his wife. Now, end of Donald's story. Flash forward back to Troy. and Troy decides he wants to start remembering after this debacle with 12.
Right.
And so he stops taking. They have to take these little pills.
Yeah.
He stops taking pills, and then slowly is gaining his memory back until finally he realizes my name's not Troy. Right? It's Donald.
Right. My name is Donald.
And so you're like, oh, you know, at that point you're kind of already you're
figuring
catching
it
on.
out.
So there's whenever he's going around, so the silo one is set up almost exactly like all the other ones.
Yeah.
Cafeterias on the first floor.
Yeah.
They have monitors where they can see outside, and there's this old guy that's always sitting there looking at the monitors.
Right.
And eventually, Troy gets called saying, "Hey, we got a guy going crazy. He needs to go to deep freeze.
Right.
But you're in charge, so you have to sign off on it."
Sign off. Yeah.
He goes in, and the guy says,
My
I'm
name's-
not
yeah.
I'm not so and so. I'm
whatever.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He starts to remember.
yeah. So after they stick the needle in his arm to put him to sleep, they're taking him down to the cryo place to put him in the deep
freeze.
deep freeze.
Where it means he's not waking
He's not
up.
coming up until the very end.
Yeah.
They're passing by these other
Other
frozen
deep
ones.
freeze bodies
So earlier they also say that women and children
have been deep freeze
are
till the
deep
end.
freeze. They're gonna-
it's just the men. Yes.
Yeah, and
there are
it's
there
not
are
a
lifts.
sexist
There are
thing.
lifts in this silo. Though.
Yes,
Yeah,
there are
and you do
elevators.
see sometimes some of the men wake up and they go see their wives just for a short time.
but
Yeah.
it's not a sexist thing. They're just saying,
Yeah.
We're protecting the women and children.
Yeah.
The men are going to
this would-
slowly age.
if we
during,
if
during
we
this
unthawed the women, that would be something the men would fight over.
Yeah.
decade. Yeah.
So and we can't have that.
Yeah.
So
And these guys will only age a couple of years once it's over.
yeah, because
And
they're
the-
only out 6 months
And
every
you won't be
60
wasting
years
any
or
of the
so.
lives of the women and children. Their
Right.
years will be protected.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, as they're
makes
going
sense.
by all these
Yeah.
tombs, basically frozen people, they get to the H's, and he sees
The name
Helen,
Helen.
and all those memories start coming
Start
back
triggering
to
in,
him.
yeah.
And that's when he realizes,
But yeah, he gets off the cart, runs to the pods. None of them are the Helen he's thinking
Yeah.
of, though.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
He
So-
doesn't really
he-
know
he-
who Helen is.
he
but
doesn't know
there's-
yet, but
Right.
it's all coming back to him. Now, when it finally does, he gets thrown in the deep freeze, right? 'Cause-
No, well,
he's
he
not.
thinks
he thinks
he is.
thinks he's going to the deep
Okay,
freeze.
but then he
It's
gets
not the next time he wakes up he finds
he
out
gets
what's going on.
unthawed later because they need him. Okay, see, I'm probably wrong. I was probably wrong about the deep freeze, but I thought he knew he was going to deep freeze. He wasn't going to wake up again, and they had to wake him up again because there's a special situation. He
Right.
was not supposed to be woken up again.
That
but,
is, yeah, that is
but
kind of what
Thurman,
they say,
Yeah.
but Thurman needs him
Yeah, so Thurman's awake.
because of the
This is
because of what happened at the beginning with
Silo 12.
with Silo 12.
so this is jumping ahead.
This is the second part of the book,
Yeah.
in a way, the
Yeah.
second arc.
and when we start to get in additions from other silos at this point.
Yes.
Yes. So part 2 I think opens up. No, this is still
Oh, I can't remember. Either way, though, we're
honestly
at the
I
point.
think in part 2 we're still kind of jumping back and forth. But
we are, but we don't realize it
Yeah.
because Mission
mission
storyline
story
is
is-
next
is-
in
yeah.
this.
Oh yes, Mission. I forgot.
So
about
what we
Mission.
find out is that Troy now Donald has been woken up because something's going on with
Right.
Silo 18. And
Yes,
he
Silo
was
18.
the one that figured out he really did a
He
good
had
job
to do
on
a
Silo
report.
12.
He had to do a report
He had to-
afterwards,
and
and he
they-
figured out.
He figured out what went wrong, so they need him. Thurman doesn't
Thurman's
want him,
awake now.
but Thurman's awake now. So is Anna,
Right.
And-
they woke up Anna.
and they said
Because-
we have to. And Thurman did not want to wake up Donald,
No.
but they did because they need his help to figure out what's going on.
No, because one of the
Now-
other guys in the silo, when Donald Troy was awake the last time, really respected the way Donald did stuff. And
Right.
he was watching what was happening in 18 and killed himself.
Right.
Yes.
One
And
of, one
2
of,
days before
one of-
Donald was
and
woke
left
up.
a cryptic
equal
note.
to Thurman's power.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
a trifecta of
Yeah.
people.
He,
who were
and
the
he
big
left
bosses.
a cryptic note, and they think the only way to get, to figure out what's going on is to get Donald.
And we should say, even though
Anna
Donald
kind of stumped for him to be
Yeah.
woken
and,
up too.
and even
'cause-
though Donald didn't know who it was, he got to know this other guy who killed himself,
Mm-hmm.
got to know Donald when he was Troy, knew who he really was,
Right.
but really got to like him during that shift, that first shift that we read about for Troy.
Yeah.
So now he's back trying to solve a mystery that's going on right now. Meanwhile,
But he's not supposed to be awake, so they have to hide him down in a munitions compartment. Anna also is not supposed to be awake because she's a woman.
Right.
And so
but Thurman gets her out to help her
but they've
out.
hidden her down there too.
Right.
So now Anna and
Thurman
Donald,
are together. Donald
are in the same compartment,
Working
and
together.
she's throwing
back
her
to her old ways.
Throwing
She's
showering
feminine,
with the
yeah.
showering with
Door
the door open.
Singing,
I love
coming-
it. What she's showering with the door open, and he's on the computer looking for Helen immediately. And then of course he finds out that Helen did not
Made
get
it.
frozen. She made it to the thing, but she
She
eventually
made it to another
remarried.
silo where nobody was frozen, like
Yeah,
all
like
the others.
regular
So
silo.
only the people in silo 1 get frozen and woken up and everything.
Took a life, married Mick.
Yeah.
Grew old together, became a judge, something she always dreamed of. She
Had
seemed
kids.
happy,
Had
but had
kids.
kids, and those
Had
kids had kids.
grandkids.
And so he's sitting here reading the life, and he's just crushed
Yeah.
because he didn't know what to think. Like he's like, is it betrayal? But she had a happy life.
Yeah.
But now I missed out on that life with her. My life I was supposed to be with her. I was supposed to die with her.
Yeah.
And he's so sad. Anna, says, hey, don't even bother checking for the kids. Hey, she's gone. Yes. Sorry it happened. Let's go to Mission. Let's get Mission's story out of the way. Mission's story I totally
Silo
forgot
18,
about.
Which is the
And
I
same.
thing is-
totally forgot his
And
storyline.
I would say, in a lot of ways, we kind of skipped to the Helen reveal. But we Mission interacting with that old lady. When I first read the book, I
Crow.
thought the Crow. I thought she was
Crow.
going to be Helen.
Oh, I
That
didn't
was
think
all
about
the
that.
assumptions
Man,
that
I
I had.
completely.
Well, the thing is,
that would have
though,
been really cool.
I don't think Crow was that big of a character back when we were getting to the Helen
No, but
reveal. I don't think Crow was
the
that
way he
big.
was jumping between stuff.
True.
Yeah.
I thought she
true.
was going to
That'd have been a
become
good,
something.
That'd have been a good. Yeah, that's
And
true.
I
She
think-
would have been
Okay,
too
hold on,
old.
hold on.
But
Back
that was the
up,
whole thing. She
back
was
up,
old.
back
Why
up.
was she so old? They had
Yeah.
these questions. I was like, okay, did she already have the nanobites in her, keeping her
Back up.
aging?
What
She
we
would have been
find.
like 160.
I know.
Well,
years
what
old.
we find out. Mission is a porter, meaning he's a runner. He runs up and down the silo for money.
Yeah. His father
Go ahead.
is a farmer.
Yeah. And so he meet the Crow is a lady who's a mother to all
School
the
teacher.
children.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's a
She's
school
an older teacher, but she's an old lady, and she weirdly knows about the real world.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, you realize very quickly, oh, this is very early, or 60 years, 100 years later. She's very old, is what we know.
Yeah.
90s maybe. I'm imagining.
She
or
could have been a
100.
child whenever they were.
Yeah, but she knows about the old world.
Yeah.
And she's telling them about it. And
She remembers nursery rhymes.
yeah, she tells them tales. Well, everyone loves the Crow, and so she says, hey, go check on someone. I'm worried about him. And then he sends back a message, help me, which Mission tears up real quick. He's just scared about this. Someone in IT gives Mission a job that is tons of money.
Yeah, it's
if he
like
does it.
200 chits to
Yes,
go
and
like
that's
four.
he
She
never
said it
makes
was
that
like a
whole
month's
month
pay or something?
It's a whole
Yeah.
month's pay, and he's like,
Yeah.
"What the heck?"
Word.
Well, he doesn't want to do that because Mission needs to get this urgent message back to the Crow.
Right,
But then
which
later
is in
on,
the opposite direction of where he was going.
later on, the guy goes, "Okay, if you don't take it, I'm going to get offered to the next porter." So one of his friends comes and he takes the offer. Well. Mission wanted that offer not for the money, but to talk back to that guy again. So he tries to go in there. He's like, "Wait, he took it, the package." So he just goes down there and follows him. Well, this guy's a few flights of stairs below him, and then all of a sudden, a bomb goes off, and it turns out that porter was carrying a bomb
Right.
that really messed up. It didn't take out the stairwell, but it kind of made it damage. It damaged it pretty bad.
It took out a landing. There's a whole landing.
Oh yeah, landing.
But it wasn't
damaged-
supposed to
damaged
go
it,
off
yeah.
until. So he was a porter, and it was
Yeah.
supposed to go to.
Some other level.
It was supposed to
Yeah.
go specifically, and it went off a little early. And so
yeah.
it took out a section of the stairwell instead of taking out
And-
that area of the.
And so people think it's Mission who was the responsible for the bomb. So now Mission's at the bottom, and he's trying to get back to the Crow. And he said,
Yeah.
I don't know how to get there. And then he says, oh, wait. Hey, guys, here's all my money. I got one thing I need y'all to port. And it's him.
Right.
That's a dead body
In a
in
bag.
in a bag.
Yeah.
and he has to pretend to be dead as they're running up flights of steps to get back to the old crow. Meanwhile, is it Robbie? Was the guy his old friend in IT who says "Help me"? I can't remember his name. It's not. It's something. I can't. Do you remember the?
I don't remember the name.
Anyway, what we find out is that guy's going through initiation,
Right.
and we see Thurman talking to him and basically just convincing him, yes, this is the new world order, and you're a part. You have to do what
Yeah.
you have to do.
Yeah.
And
He's learning all the old stories. The
Okay,
same thing
so
Lucas was in the first
we're
when
book.
Mission
combining
and them
two
are
now.
trying to get back up to see the crow, they realize that they have, because they're porters, they're basically FedEx. They got all these shipments and stuff like that, and there's boxes and crates or whatever full of white jumpsuits.
Right.
Or
Right.
yeah, like coveralls.
so they
and
know
stuff.
something's up.
So, and then somebody has already seen that, like, anybody that's in white is kind of part of the IT security team. So they dress in that. And then you find out that during all of this, so Thurman and them knew that these problems were going on.
Right.
And so they were doing basically a soft reset
Right.
on the silo. And they had already
Because-
decided, okay, anybody in white is going to be siding with IT. That's what we want to win. And so we're
Right.
going to drastically reduce the population.
Yeah, because Donald figures out, right, that there's
Do-
someone there that remembers the old ways, and
Yeah.
that's what's causing the stir.
And
Right.
that's
what's causing
that was the
issues.
big revelation that they wanted to wake him up to try to figure out.
And that was the big thing.
They
That
wanted
was the big
wanted
clue.
part of his. They wanted a sample of his blood, and then for him to go look over his report from Silo 12 to try
Right.
to figure out what it is that the guy that
that's
committed
causing
suicide
the problems.
saw.
Yes.
That somehow Donald knew the answer.
Yeah.
And of course
Donald
he did.
figured it out.
The guy that committed suicide was like this brilliant psychologist.
Yeah.
That could like tell you what you're thinking before you thought it.
But Donald's very intuitive, and his intuitiveness helped him with 12, so they brought him back, and sure enough,
and they're trying to figure out why he was able to remember stuff. They said there's something about you that allows you to remember that the pills are not doing their
yeah,
job.
and then he
and-
just kind of laughs to
Yeah.
Thurman and says, I stopped taking the pills. That's what it was. He went,
Yeah.
It wasn't the pills.
Yeah,
The medicine's
It's
not
like,
the pills.
we know you stopped taking your pills.
The
We
pills
saw
are how we
water.
know that you start to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said
the
you
water.
actually start remembering before you stop taking the pills. That's why you stop taking the pills, because you think the pills
And
are
that's
stopping
what's
you.
let
Yeah.
us know that
Yeah.
you're remembering.
Yeah, the medication that's supposed to keep your memory blank and not remember is in the water.
It's in the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's smart, too.
Yeah,
So they already know how you start, your pee turns a different color, you start getting gum sores, but they already knew that because you're not taking your pills.
Right.
But that's not the drug.
right.
And then he
So
realizes
that's when he realized so
it's the
somebody over there's
medicine. Well, he realized it's the sister's medicine
yeah,
is that makes him immune
right.
because he was on it. Yeah, I forgot about that, Ruville. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, anyway, Mission does make it back to the Crow, but Robbie is there, and Robbie.
Well, his
or whatever the
Allie-
IT guy
Allie or
is.
something like that, which is an ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
and
right.
Another friend, they're there, and the Crow is like, "Hey, everything's gonna be fine."
Yeah.
Because the thing
Like,
is that this is a
this guy.
big
He's
story.
not actually in trouble.
Yeah, he said he was fine.
Your note told me that that he has been chosen. She knew he was going to get chosen,
Yeah.
and everything. Everything's
Everything's
good.
cool. And then he's there though. He comes to visit, right? At that
he
point.
burst in, and
burst-
she's like, "Oh, everything's great." Why?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
He brandishes a gun.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is after his initiation with Thurman.
Oh yeah. He's
Who-
already turned. at
Who
this
like
point.
gets him talking about his childhood and everything like that.
basically Thurman manipulates
Oh,
him and
yeah.
then turns him.
and turns him.
I mean, it's a great scene because
Yeah,
Thurman
he-
hits the mic
He
and goes,
Palpatine that dude.
"He's a man now. He's our man," is what he says. Like, he's manipulated him.
Yeah.
So he's twisted this kid around, and now he thinks the Crow's the evil
No,
person.
the crow gives them hope. She tells them the old stories. She's the one bringing, reminding the people of what humanity was, and he's just like, we can't be happy knowing that, which is what Thurman's idea
Right.
is. Thurman's idea is we have to forget all that.
Yeah.
Or we will never be happy. Yeah,
Right.
you can't keep talking about
Yeah,
nostalgic
if you
stuff.
think if you think that there's a great big world out there that's
There
always
isn't, and
better,
there never
you'll
will be.
never be satisfied
That's right.
with what you have.
Yeah.
And we can't have you not being satisfied with what you
have.
have
Yeah.
because you can't have that.
Yeah. So
That's gone.
So anyway, just like Brandon Lee from the movie Crow, she takes a real bullet.
Yeah. quite a few.
Quite a few. And so does Mission. Mission jumps
Mission
in the way and takes one
takes
too
one
in the
forward.
stomach, I believe.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
a grazing shot.
Grazing shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
across
cuts
the
his
stomach.
And his
Girlfriend. Well,
girlfriend, Allie.
she's in love with him.
Yeah. So
he doesn't want anybody to try to take care of him.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a backstory. We can leave that a mystery.
Yeah. Anyway, so it then flash forwards a little bit after that adventure.
Yeah, a couple of years or so.
And well, he's married to
Allie.
and they have a kid.
Well, he
Or they're about to
comes
have a kid? I
in
can't remember.
and sees that she has like some steaks, and he's like, "We can't afford steaks. What is
Yeah.
going on?"
Back slaps her.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he realizes there are candles lit all over the place. Those are for emergencies only. What is going on? And then she's got this big shit-eating grin on her face. So well, that can only mean one thing: she's pregnant.
Yeah. He goes, steak it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we gotta stop trying, right?
Yeah. I'll have steak. You'll have the doomsday.
And
That's what it would be if Robert Jordan was writing it.
yeah. No, Robert Jordan's fingers are already on this with
Bouncing
Anna.
bosoms.
With Anna being an old femme fatale, like just trying to attack this guy.
About her bosoms.
Yes.
Her exploding bosoms.
Yes.
That's what it would be.
straightening her.
And
dress
Mission would get raped.
And Mission got raped by Anna.
By Anna. That's what happened. That's how they had the baby. But anyway,
That part ends with him.
But ends with Mission going, you know what? I have the scar on my stomach, and I don't even know how I got that. In
and
fact,
he can't
by the
remember
way,
when his birthday is because all of that happened
on his birthday.
Yeah.
And so then he takes a sip of water as he's saying that, letting us know that they're all drinking the water, which makes sense now because how come the Silos didn't pass down their legacy?
Yeah.
And that's a big. In fact, I never asked that question when I read the book, and then when I'm reading Shift, I'm going, oh yeah.
Well, they're
How
giving
come
us
they
dates.
don't know
They're
their-
giving us dates too, and you're just like, something about them giving us the date because they keep bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
It made me think the same thing. I was just like, well, this is only 300 years. I mean, that's
How come they haven't passed down their
People-
legacy from one
yeah.
parent to the next to the next? You think they talk about the out? That's the only thing they talk about is the outside
Yeah.
world. But that's because they're bred to forget. And so that's
they're
the
bred
big.
to forget that there is a
Yeah.
life on the outside, that there
Yeah.
ever was life outside the silo.
Which is why in the first book we have that God created the silos, and that's
Yeah.
all they know is the
Yeah.
world of the silo.
Yeah,
And
and to remind you, this is Silo 18.
Yeah.
This is the
pre-Juliet and everyone.
right. This
Yeah.
this is the rebellion. The what do they call
This
it?
is 17.
The revolt.
Oh, 17. Okay. Well,
No, 18.
We're not, no, this is
18.
18. This is
Mission is
18. Mission is
18.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So-
is the big revolt that everybody in the first book
Yeah.
refers to.
So it ends with Donald just wanting to end his life. He sleeps with Anna, we should say.
Yeah, he kind of
He
Yeah,
breaks
so-
up, but he's miserable about it. He
Yeah.
feels bad, even though Helen's already dead and gone. He
Yeah.
feels they betrayed. He's miserable. It's the day he's about to go under again.
Yeah,
But he
they
decides just to-
accomplished their mission.
Yeah, so they're going back.
Anna,
to sleep.
Thurman, him,
Are all going back.
they're
to sleep.
all going back to sleep.
But Anna's already back to sleep, I think. Oh no,
Well,
she's
well,
about to.
She's
or did
about
she already
to.
go that morning?
She's going to go that morning.
Either way, as she's getting frozen, he makes a run for it to kill himself. Runs outside.
Yeah.
They,
He finds a drone launch tube,
Yeah.
basically, and rides the lift up and everything, and is heading out. Well, he also finds a suit.
yeah, he's running out to die. They grab him, drag him back in. Thurman is pissed.
Yeah.
And says, "Deep freeze for you, buddy. Never again."
Now, one of the things he realizes after they get him back into the airlock, which is,
Yes.
the airlock that they send people out to do the
Out to-
cleaning and
yeah.
stuff, is that, he's all... He had already removed his glove. He was about to remove his helmet whenever they grabbed him. They get back to the airlock. He turns around. Thurman and the other head guy and a few other people
Aren't wearing suits.
None of them have suits on.
So, mystery time.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the next thing that happens is they stick a needle in his arm, and
And he's gone.
he's gone.
All right, and that's gonna be it. End of Act 2. All right, so now we're at Act 3, and Act 3 basically tells us a little bit about Solo's backstory.
Well, talk about jumping ahead.
Is that jumping ahead?
It's about Jimmy.
Yeah, it's about Jimmy.
Well, okay.
Now,
sorry.
now it took me. It took
Did
me
you
a
not
minute.
know?
Now, it took me a minute. It
'Cause-
might not take everybody that long. Of course, now it's
Well-
not. If you go read the book, we've already told you.
Well, in the first book, he revealed his name was Jimmy. So when
Yes,
he was a kid,
but
it
I
was Jimmy.
forgot.
But you're not really-
okay,
But I
okay,
forgot.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Because when I first read it, I was like,
pulled,
oh, okay,
I
here's what
pulled
we're
a
doing.
Dan and Dave and totally
Sorry.
forgot about the.
And you didn't connect
yeah.
Helen and Troy.
The Queen's
Come on.
army and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so he goes to it starts with Jimmy. It's the beginning
He's in his
of
classroom.
he's in his classroom. Mom comes, gets him. He thinks he's in trouble. Then he realizes
He's
something's
embarrassed and everything.
yeah. Well, he's kind of smirking to his friend like, "Oh, I got in trouble again." But realize something's going on with the silo.
Yeah, they
well,
get out on the stairwell and
there's
It's
panic.
freaking crazy.
This is the fall of Silo 17 is what we're reading about. He falls.
he gets separated from his mom.
Yeah,
They're-
drops a few floor, just
He-
one or two,
yeah,
right?
He gets pushed over. This is after somebody else has already fallen. Like he
someone
sees
else has
them
already
pass
fallen
through.
all the way
They
down.
pass through and
Yeah, splat.
screaming and everything like that. He gets kind of pushed over the rail. He's holding on, and I guess they're trying to go down while everybody's
everyone's
going
trying to rush up. Everyone's
And
trying to
then-
rush
so
up.
he drops down, lands on people,
Yeah,
and
he doesn't drop that far though.
No,
he's
I think
right
he,
above
like,
the platform, I think,
dislocates it.
from the
Yeah.
staircase.
like
and
one
he
or two
drops-
platforms or
Yeah,
something
and so
like that.
he drops down on top of him. He's okay.
Yeah,
he goes.
He
to see
breaks a rib or two, and maybe
does he?
dislocates
Okay.
his shoulder.
Okay, I thought it was just his arm or something.
Yeah,
but-
well, he's holding his arm like that.
You're right.
It makes me think he dislocated
either
it.
way,
and
I
he
think-
said it was really hard to breathe and it was a sharp pain. It
Oh,
made me
okay.
think of
okay.
breaking a rib.
Yeah,
It
being that they
seems
don't know
like
the details.
minor. It
Yeah,
seems
it's-
like minor stuff.
It's
though.
told from their perspective, so you're not
Yeah.
getting any medical details.
but the thing is, his dad works in IT. His dad supposedly, and we already know this from the first
dad
book,
knows everything.
His dad knows everything. So his dad knows what's going on. Now the mother's not there, so he asks the son, "Give me a code you'll never forget." Gives him the code. He pops it in the door. It lock. He said, "Don't forget that code. I'll be back. There's a gun here. Shoot anyone that comes in that's not me and your mom. Don't let anyone in who's not me and your mom. And there's food here. There's basically gives him a crash course.
There's enough food for 4 people for 10 years.
10 years. And so then he goes, adios, I'm going to go get your mom. So he talks to his dad maybe the next day or hours. No, it's an hour or so later. Still trying to get mom. There's pandemonium everywhere. And then finally, is this all on the same day? Or is it the next
this
day?
is-
All on the same
Well, same day.
Either
next
way,
day,
it's very
yeah.
early.
It's not very long.
Some people knock on the door. They have their mom and dad. The mom and dad.
He can see 'em
and
on the cameras.
He can see them on the camera, and they won't in. And he goes, Jimmy, these men are going to kill you if you let them in. They will kill you. They're already going to kill us, but they will kill you. And the wife is screaming too, Jimmy, don't. And of course, Jimmy's crying. He's upset because they're going to murder his parents, which they do. And
they shoot his dad, kill
Right.
him. The mom is going crazy.
yeah,
And
scream at
everything like
Jimmy
that.
not to open the door.
yeah, but he does. He's about to anyway.
Yeah, he wants to.
He's trying to put in the
He's
code.
too nervous. He
but he's
can't
so
get the
nervous.
code in right.
He messes up the first time.
and I don't remember if his
No,
dad told him.
the second time he breaks down crying, as he puts half of it in, he just breaks because he hears his mom screaming again. He breaks down crying, and he waits too long, and it locks again.
Right.
And then the guy's saying, "Don't put it in there. Tell me the code.
Yeah,
Tell me the
'cause
code."
If you put it in 3 times without it, it takes 24 hours
to
before it lets
reset,
you
it'll
do it
reset.
again.
And so then he can't talk anymore. He's just a
Yeah.
blubbering mess
Yeah.
now because he's just so upset by what's going on. So his mom,
Well, his mom runs to the door and just starts pressing buttons to lock it so that they can't
yeah.
try for at
They
least
can't try for
24
hours.
hours. And
And so that's the end.
then they kill her.
Of her. And so then it's him basically sitting there listening to screams, listening to people. He's taking apart this gun, putting it back together, putting the oil in it, getting the
Well,
bullets
this
ready.
is going over the next.
This is over the next few
several
weeks.
months.
And they keep flashing back in between Donald's story we should mention and
Yeah.
this story where
Yeah, I would think it would be a good re-listen to go in actual chronological order.
Yeah.
Which I did see on the Audible app. It does have the times of each
really?
chapter. It
Oh,
puts the dates on
really?
each chapter.
That's interesting.
I might try to do that. Just
Well-
I think it would be.
Well, anyway,
That might be a little easier to. Well, now that you
I
know
don't-
all the
Yes.
story.
I like the way it's built up. But anyway,
Oh
like
yeah,
it-
absolutely.
well, I
it
just
definitely
think it
keeps
might
you
be-
guessing.
I think you need the
keeps your
first one to
mystery
appreciate
alive.
the second book.
Yeah.
The mystery is fun the first time, but I kind of want to understand it a
Oh
little
no,
more.
I understand that. No, reading in chronological order the second time through is totally fine.
Yeah.
But
is
reading it
just
for
the
the first
second.
time, you should read it in the
Oh,
book
yeah,
order.
absolutely.
Yeah, because it's confusing, but it's a good confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps
But-
you guessing.
Yeah. So anyway, Jimmy's
Well, you aren't going to guess because
Jimmy's learning the lay of the land. He's eating canned food. He's finding out some food.
He's reading all these books.
He's reading all the books,
finding about
getting
the
smart.
outside world and
Yeah.
stuff. He read a book on how to work the. I would assume it's an AR-15 or maybe an M16 because it's
Yeah.
probably fully auto.
Learns not to eat the fruit that when you open it, if it doesn't pop, you
Yeah,
don't
Yeah, it
eat
doesn't
that.
pop. You
Yeah.
don't eat it because it's spoiled.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things. Then the bathroom stops. So he has
Yeah.
to pee in a corner. Then he has to poop in a corner. Then he doesn't like poop in a corner. But we should also say that during this time, the noises are dying down. The scream. He hears screams. He hears guns. He hears every once in a while. The noises
But
are
one
dying
thing
down.
that he hears every single morning is somebody come in and
Yeah.
try three
three
codes.
times.
And he realizes this person is
Either-
is starting at the very beginning or
Or the
maybe at the
very
very
end.
end. He's not sure, but he knows that with his code 1218
Yeah.
that if they start with 0000 and then work their way up algorithmically, that
He has 2.5 months or whatever.
no 4 years and some odd
Oh, okay.
and
Well,
some odd days.
But then, as he's eating food, all of a sudden the door goes. He goes, "Oh, they're here early today." The door goes green. It's like, what? And then he realizes he was sick for a little while. Didn't
Missed a
maybe miss
couple
those
days.
days. And then there's another day he
he's like,
slept
I had
in or
2
something.
days. He said, I had 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days left. But
Yeah,
he
was
was
sick one of those
day
days, and then he fell
couple
asleep
times.
reading.
fell
another
asleep
one.
reading a book. Yeah, another day.
Yeah.
And so now it comes. He's not ready. He picks up the gun, shoots the first one,
Yeah.
shoots the second one. Dead. The first one is not dead, but he's still crawling toward him. The second
Yeah.
one he shoots dead. The third one he shoots and injures, who runs away.
Mm-hmm.
And
But he knows that guy knows the code.
One
Yeah,
of
he knows that
them. One
guy.
of them gets into the room with him,
yeah,
and he shoots him 2 or 3 times,
and then finally
and
kills him
falls,
at
like,
the
right in
end.
front
Yeah.
of him.
The other one's dead at the very beginning. The second one he shot dead at the very beginning, and then the third one he injured, and the guy crawled away.
Right.
So he's freaked out. You know, he just killed some people, and then you pass years later, and no one. He doesn't hear anything, and he really has to go to the bathroom, and it smells.
Oh yeah, he's
Smells
got a
like-
decomposing body in the corner.
Yeah.
He takes dumps in the corner over there.
Yeah,
'cause
so
the bathrooms
he can't
quit
do this
working.
anymore. He
Yeah.
has to venture out.
And
But
there's something wrong with the cans. They start going bad. He's
Yeah.
getting sick more often.
Yeah.
Whenever
so
he's
he has to get
Yeah.
out, and so he gets out, but the slightest noise scares him, and he runs all the way back. You know, I mean,
it takes him days to
get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause. Right. No. Let's keep going through Jimmy's story, I guess. As he's going through, we're not doing the book order right now because there's a second half of the story we're kind of ignoring.
Yeah.
But
I don't
let's
know
talk
where,
about them all
I don't know
together.
where all the breaks
Yeah,
are.
I can't
jump back
remember
to
the
I don't know where the
jumps.
breaks are either.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jimmy's running around. He finds the old schoolroom that he did as a kid. He writes on the chalkboard a little poem, and
Which
that's
I
where
thought-
he,
Man, if he was like 14 years old,
yeah,
pretty good poet.
yeah. And he calls it. He decides instead of Jimmy, he calls his name Solitude, and then
Yeah.
no Solo.
Yeah.
He
I am
gives himself
solo.
the name I Am Solo.
Oh, and what were you saying in the last episode?
You were saying that he didn't call himself Solo.
No.
That
No, you
Juliet
you
said he'd call himself
his
Solo.
name is not Solo. He just
Yeah.
calls himself Solo.
No, you said Juliet calls him Solo. He didn't say that. His name
I am
was Solo. Yes,
as in,
he is
I am
Solo.
just by myself. But no, he
gives him the
this
name
is where he
Solo.
is actually naming himself Solo.
Redcon.
Yes.
Retcon.
Yes. Whatever.
Well, he
Anyway.
retcons his own name later on.
Anyway, so that's where we see that, and so now we see that Jimmy is Solo, and that's how he became Solo. And then there's another great scene where he has a cat.
Well, that's when he retcons his name.
makes friends with the
This
cat.
is
Well,
like
he goes back to
This is like 12 years.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about 12 years.
Eh.
He goes down and finds out that some of the lower levels are flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of walking around. He hears a bunch of splashing. He's like, oh, it must be a rat. But he's like, man, that was a lot bigger. Then something like
Yeah.
runs by or something.
Screams.
Finds a cat, and he's like, okay, well, he tries to feed the cat, and then the cat just attacks him.
Yeah.
He flings it off in the water. The cat comes back, and they make nice and become friends and everything like that.
And they do fun stuff
And that's when he
together, and
stops calling himself Solo.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not
Not
alone
s-
anymore.
yeah.
He refers to himself as
Jimmy again. And so they go fishing. He sometimes talks to the cat. They do all these fun things. The cat can search out for food, and he curls up next to Solo or Jimmy at night. And then Jimmy just starts getting the habit of just leaving the door open because he hasn't seen anyone in years.
Yeah,
And-
and Shadow is what he names the cat.
Shadow, yes.
Two different times the cat like gets up on something and gets stuck. And
Yeah.
it wakes him up, and it realizes he's trying to get out. So
Yeah.
he starts leaving the
Leave
door
the door
open
open so the cat
He's
can
not
get out.
seeing anybody.
Yeah,
and the
there
cat
hasn't been
wants
anyone
to
in
run
years.
around and lay on top of the servers because
Yeah,
they're
they're
warm,
warm.
and the cat likes it.
So imagine Jimmy surprised one day. I think this is how the chapter ends, right?
I think so.
Where he wakes up and there's someone standing above him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going
Yeah.
on? And then, of course, he screams like a little girl again, even though he's a grown man at this point. Does manage to get the gun and kill the intruder.
Well, the cat attacks the
the cat.
intruder.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The cat attacks the intruder to distract him. Jimmy gets the gun, blows him away. You hear a woman's voice, Hank, what's going on? And, of course, he kills her, too. He's freaked out, and we realize those are the parents
Yeah, I think so.
of the kids from the first one.
I don't know that enough time had passed by. I thought about that later because he talks about, oh man,
I think more time has passed by than 12 years because he's had the count for years
at this
now.
point. Yes,
But he had the line. He was like, "Why are they coming to steal my food? Look at her just stole, her swollen belly."
swollen,
Yeah.
distended belly.
Oh, which is
it's not like they're
awful.
really
No,
hungry.
no.
I'm like,
Yeah. Oh,
he was
she's
wondering.
pregnant.
His ignorance.
he
His
didn't
ignorance.
know.
That's
he
true.
didn't
Know
just
what he
kill
did.
a
Well,
pregnant
remember, he
woman.
has the mind of a kid anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But
he never matured.
14.
But-
in the first book he said he was 16, but in this one it says he's 14.
Right.
Which I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad
I'm not-
like oh he didn't
he
know
may- yeah.
the author didn't know. I think that's Jimmy just not knowing exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
40 years alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably I
But yeah.
imagine
We
that was
already
the
figured
parents.
out
I
he
always
discounts
imagine
some
that
stuff.
was the parents of the kids that we see in the first
I
book.
mean, it
I
might have been.
think so.
Because they said their
related.
parents went out to look for food and never came back.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that was the kids. looking
I would
for,
say you're
parents looking for
probably
food.
right.
So,
But that could have happened when
it seems like that.
I'm trying to
happened-
think of how old the youngest one was.
Well, they're teenagers. No, I think
The youngest ones are probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Wait. The teenagers aren't those all their kids? The two twins,
see,
the
that's-
girl.
I'm
and the
assuming
baby?
I'm assuming
those
that there's
teenagers
some
were the kids
incest
of-
going on. In
Well,
there.
yeah,
there
I
might be
think-
some, but it's only been 34 years. It can't be that much. It wasn't one family doing this.
No.
Their parents are dead, but this is probably
Either-
the kids of
either-
several different groups.
either
So
way.
but that would mean that multiple parents died.
This has only been
As
34 years.
the kids say
It's 40 years by the time Juliet finds them.
I mean, I don't think we've got.
40 years in their
no.
15. so that's 35 years.
It's been
I mean,
30 years.
25.
It's been 30 years since the
40.
Silo 17. Really?
40.
We don't know how
When
many.
Juliet finds Solo, he says it's been 40 years.
I thought it was 34.
I thought it was 30, but it's something. Obviously, it's one of those. It doesn't
Difference
matter.
of 6
But
years.
still,
either way-
you got
either
a
way-
15-year-old pregnant girl.
It's two generations. I
Either
don't
way-
think it's one family going down. the
Either
line.
way,
I don't think
either
that's the
way.
case.
There's-
All right.
I
Don't
you know,
care.
you know,
Don't care
we
at
don't
this
have
point.
the old
Don't care at
parents,
this point.
but yeah,
Still don't care.
I'm assuming no incest because that's gross.
All right. So
I'm
anyway,
assuming it because
Cut.
Noah's Ark.
cut past Solo now. He's kind of done. That's basically the end of his. I mean, there's other things that happen, but nothing of for Solo.
Well, no, I mean, several. Another big thing happens is
Go ahead.
Okay, the cat dies.
Right,
He buries the cat
Right.
in the farm.
right.
the lower farm,
Yes.
and on his way back up is when he finds.
Oh, well, it ties into the first book. Yeah. It ties in where he finds the knife door in the jam and the lead pipe full of water. He's like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then it kind of ends on, before you only see his side of the story where he's running down the stairs, and that's it. You know what it is.
Right,
you know
where
Juliet.
got into
You know Juliet's there, but that's how they met. All right, now going back, there's
Yeah, I
another
guess there
story that
really
kind of
wasn't that
weaves in here, and this is the story of Donald. He gets woken up again. He thought he was never supposed to be woken up again because that was it. Deep freeze, baby. He wasn't going to wake up to the end. And it's really awesome because they called him because it was an emergency. They have a problem with Silo 18 now, I think, right? This is the Silo 18 story.
Now we're going into
And-
18.
Yeah.
And then they say,
I didn't know that they woke him up because they had a problem with 18.
yes, they did,
No,
because they need him.
No. They weren't waking up Donald.
No.
No. They did wake up Donald, but they
But-
thought
yes.
he was Thurman. They call him
Right.
Thurman.
Because
obviously,
somebody switched the names.
someone switched his ID.
Yeah.
What-
and
and deep
apparently was able to work out the schedule to where everybody that was awake
During
to
that
wake
last
him
time.
up was not awake during
Yeah. And they
And
could
they
either
did
of
not
the
know
other two times
who
that
Thurman
Donald
and
what
they
Thurman
don't know
looked
who
like.
Thurman. They've never been on a shift with Thurman to
Right.
recognize him. So now he has taken over Thurman's role. He doesn't know what's going on. There, he has his access codes are in under Thurman's name.
Right.
He figures that out. After
all
a
of his
while.
passwords are the same.
Yeah, but they're under Thurman's
but
name.
he's got to put Thurman's
And he doesn't know
username
what
in.
happened, but there's a message by Anna: when you get this, wake me.
Yeah.
And he doesn't for the longest, finally does.
But he also got some information
Right.
Yeah.
before he did that.
He's also got some information, pissed at who Anna is, who Anna's become,
Yeah.
and there's a...
Do y'all want to
Oh, no, go
No,
ahead.
yeah.
involve that? I mean,
Go ahead.
we could leave some things
Well,
mysteries.
this was
for these
not
people.
the surprise reveal of the series.
It's not,
No,
but go ahead.
No, but it definitely.
Go ahead. That's fine.
I'm not so. Like, as a reader, you know that there's a bunch of time going on, but from the character's point of view, it's not that much time. Like, he's still
Yeah.
very much in love with his wife.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been, what, a year
So,
for
and-
him?
Yeah.
Maybe two?
He
Oh,
realizes...
the first
a year,
time he
yeah.
didn't make it.
all right,
He was 2
you're
weeks
beating
early.
around
from-
the bush.
Okay. Okay.
The bush being Anna. So, what?
Well, hold on.
He finds out that Anna and Thurman had all planned. Anna had planned that Helen was never supposed to be in the same silo.
Right.
She wanted Thurman there, all to herself. Didn't want him to die the natural death. Denied him his life with Helen.
Mm-hmm.
And
the way he figured this out was that the only way for him to have been switched with Thurman so securely like that was for somebody like Anna to be able to do that.
switch the codes and everything. When
Yeah.
everyone went to deep
because
freeze.
that's kind of her specialty is hacking.
Yes.
And then as soon as he's like hacking, my phone wasn't working the day that the bombs hit.
Right.
And that's when he realized that
She set it all up.
that Anna is the one that created that situation.
Yeah.
And then he started thinking, well, Mick wanted to switch with me.
Right.
Mick was in on it
Yeah.
because Helen married Mick,
Yes.
and Mick wanted to switch. He was in
Yeah.
love with Helen the whole time.
Yeah. So you have this kind of big reveal.
Yeah.
And
Betrayed by his best friend and his
and,
ex-girlfriend.
and his ex-girlfriend. So he wakes her up, tells her she knows she's trying to tell him something else that's going on.
yeah.
Like
The reason that
the
she
reason
switched
why
him
she
was
switched
Thurman.
him.
Yeah.
And we have a reveal that the she has to drink the bitter drink
Uh-huh.
and everything.
But
we-
he had gone to the station and gotten sleeping pills, crushed all the sleeping pills, and he was poisoning her.
yes,
'Cause
and so
he's
kept
out for
making her
revenge.
drink, making her
She
drink,
wants to give
and-
him information about what's going
Yeah.
on, and he's just, I'm going to kill this bitch.
Yeah.
So
And
he kills
suddenly
her.
she's like, why am I getting sleepy? He's like, keep drinking, sweetie.
yeah, because she's dead.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, he
so
kills her.
that's a big one. You're like, whoa,
Like,
okay,
Yeah. I was,
So-
I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
Because he seemed like such a pacifist the whole time. His whole
Yeah.
thing was
That's the first time
his
he
whole
actually does
anger
something
with Thurman
crazy.
was like, you killed billions of people
Yeah.
for this little experiments. And then he kills Anna.
Now we see everything. The whole first book is revealed again from his point of view now, like
now they're
him
watching.
speaking, him watching the cameras, him talking to Lucas, initiating him.
Yeah, he was the calmer voice.
He was the
that
calmer
Lucas
voice
was
at the other
talking
end of the
about.
line. Mm-hmm. That whole story is given, but the whole time he has Thurman's codes, and he's getting the real picture.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, he can go back and see all of his correspondence with
Yeah.
the other two guys that are in charge.
And why the guy killed himself was because he finds out they're going to kill off all the silos. Only one silo will remain. It won't be silo number one either. They're going to kill them all
Yeah,
off.
they're killing themselves
It's
off.
all big.
It's a
all
suicide
one
mission.
big suicide mission, and they're going to kill most of the silos
Yeah,
too. Only one silo will
They're
live.
killing all but one.
Yeah.
They will decide at the very end which
Who
one
that will
has
be.
the best chance of
Surviving.
But what the
working
idea
together.
being
and
is they want to forget the past.
Yes.
They want to forget everything that
they
humanity
want to forget
has.
technology
Pure
and everything.
reset.
It's a
Pure
it's a,
reset.
Yes, it's the Great Reset.
They want to keep people sheltered in their homes, wearing masks, destroying the economy, and doing the Great Reset because they're different. Oh my gosh! Okay, anyway, so
They didn't say they were Democrats. It was just the
No, they did
Democratic
say they were
National
Democrats.
Convention.
Yeah,
where
no,
all people
they
were
are
pulled from.
Democrats.
Yeah.
There might have been some
knew
non-Democrats there.
I knew it.
Some
There may have
independents.
been, yeah.
They did say independents.
Yeah, and some of you
Is
independents.
it weird that Juliet wanted to make the silo great again? That was a weird slogan for her. Anyway, so anyway, the thing is though that he's just pissed off to high heaven when he finds us out, and now
yeah.
it's time to unthaw the Thaw Man and shoot him.
Well, before that,
Oh, go ahead.
I
before
like the
that,
conversation. That was a good
yeah.
confrontation.
Okay.
Oh, it was a great confrontation. It was
Oh,
great.
yeah. Before that, he unthaws his sister.
Yes.
Oh, true. Forgot
Yeah.
about that. That did
Very
happen first.
awkward, talking about removing the catheter from his sister, and
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I might
but-
skip that chapter in the
But,
future.
but the thing is though, he loves his sister. He does.
He was
wants her-
placing towels.
He wants help. he wants help on this. He gets his sister. Now, by the way, we should mention something's wrong with Donald. His palm itches. He's coughing
and
a
he's
little
coughing
bit.
up.
Yeah.
They keep calling it like the pink-colored handkerchief,
Yeah.
and
So
then
something's
I'm like,
going on with him.
pink-colored handkerchief, and
He's-
then he coughs,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have his handkerchief, and it's like a spray of pink.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Something's going on with him.
dude's got
He's
tuberculosis.
He's not feeling well. So
hanging out at Moulin Rouge.
anyway, so he shoots Thurman, throws him back into the cryogen freezer, and then he and Anna go to work because he wants Anna to pilot a drone to kind of look at things.
That's what she was good at.
And that's what she was a drone pilot.
That happened before he confronted Thurman, but
Okay.
it doesn't really matter.
Well, oh really?
yeah.
When the drone flight happens before Thurman? Huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's where you got that final knowledge of
Well,
what's going on.
and
Yeah.
I love how it's done because the drone flies, then crashes.
Yeah,
And-
she's like, wait,
and
something's happening, and she
it's-
doesn't understand the whole nano thing.
Yeah, she understands that the
She
the
just knows
drone's
that it's
falling apart.
300-year-old drone.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, well, I'm losing oil pressure, I'm losing altitude.
But that's because it's getting torn up by the air.
the nanites.
So anyway, it crashes, and I love how it's written. It crashes in
a field of green
No,
with
it
blue.
crashes in the green grass.
Yeah,
and
but
so
he was
then,
like, "Did you
and
see
then they
that?
keep,
Did you
but
see
they
that?"
keep talking. The story keeps going. And if you're just reading, you may miss that. You
Yeah.
may miss that little hint. And then Donald's eyes open up wide. He said, "Did you just see that?"
yeah.
There was blue sky and green grass. So now the big reveal. And by the way, I thought this was a big reveal for 3. I forgot that it was in the
I
second
forgot
book.
some of the
I
layout
thought this was the
of the
big
series,
reveal
yeah.
for 3 that the land outside of that area is pure. It's cured. The world is better again. I thought for some reason I kept thinking that was the
Yeah.
big reveal for 3.
I thought
Okay,
this
so-
whole backstory was in the third book. I remember I talked with Steven earlier in the week. I was just like, I was listening to book 2. I was like, I thought this was book 3.
yeah.
So the area around the silos, obviously
it's contaminated.
contaminated, but was that a nuclear blast? Because he talks about the mushroom cloud,
It's
bright
everything.
white.
It's in 3.
No, this is in 2.
Do you
Wait
want me
for
to
your
spoil
questions.
3 for you?
Wait for your question.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait for your question. Your question will be answered.
Hold that
Okay,
question
because
till
this
next
is
week.
this is
Why
the
is the
question.
land
Princes of
around
the
the
universe.
silos bad?
Well, I would assume that the land around the silos is because those flybys dropped a nuclear bomb and they're in the fallout.
Okay. Well,
But evidently the drone got further away.
But obviously,
Right.
you can just
I
stop
can't-
asking questions and read the next book.
yeah, we can't answer that question for you.
Are y'all trying to keep me in a silo?
It will. Yes, it will. It will be revealed.
We did
Okay.
change political
Okay.
parties. We don't want to
So
ask questions.
anyway, that's the big
I am a
reveal.
Republican.
To be honest, they should have ended on that.
Yes, I
thought
think
that was
so
a
too. That would have
great
been a
way
good.
to end it, but they
Yeah.
go a little bit further.
Yeah, well,
No, they
And
tied
that's the
more into the
Thurman
first book.
scene, I guess, where they
yeah,
shoot
in
Thurman.
fact, I think Silo burying his cat and having his interaction with Juliet
Is the
comes
end.
after that too.
Yeah.
yeah, all that comes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true too.
The silo really.
So the Thurman
yeah.
confrontation is the end of Donald's story in
Mm-hmm.
Shift, and then Solo's story ends with him meeting or it's about to be the first confrontation.
Yeah.
And so we're finally getting, and that's it. And we're
Well, there's an epilogue.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the epilogue.
The epilogue between Juliet
Yes.
and Thurman/Donald.
Yeah. So they're talking, and
He's trying to be like, be careful, you might not like, and she's like, no, I've got everything here.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
You know.
things are gonna be bad, and he's rooting for her, but at the same time,
He's
I
worried.
think he's scared that
What
when
she may
she
do.
finds out everything, she's
She's not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically how. I'm sorry, Juliet. I'm coming for. She does her Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a woman with a very particular set of skills. I'm coming for you. I'll kill you all. You
Yeah.
killed my family. Whatever. And so she gives the same threat that it was better when it was Bernard. She was giving
yeah.
the threat to, but she gives a threat to Donald because she doesn't trust anyone.
I think Bernard was a much better antagonist.
Oh,
than
Bernard was
Dalton.
great.
Bernard was awesome.
so. That's
But
Well, Bernard was a great, as far as a series that gives generic, politician, middleman. He was the best version of that I've ever seen written. Because normally, it's
Thawman
come
was
across
not
easy.
bad either.
Thawman was good, but it was
you
also
could
at the same
see
time-
that before you had the reveal of him of them not intending for even Silo 1 to be to make it. You could if you have that in your mind going back on some of the interactions, like it weighed heavy on him.
Yeah.
He really thought that what he was doing was the right thing. Same with Bernard. Really thought that this is the only way.
So you're saying that people can think they're doing the right thing, but
But
they're
be
actually
really wrong.
destroying everything that they want.
Yes.
Okay, that happens.
Good intentions, bad actions.
Gotcha.
with one executive order after the next.
Absolutely.
From the president.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway.
There is no president in this book.
Oh, no. No, there's not. Just an old
That's
senator.
true. In fact, he says, I have my sights set higher
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
He said it could have happened any year. As
That's
if
true.
he could have taken over the presidency
So
at any
wicked.
point.
Anyway, so
Confidence of
we.
It's weird that we picked this book to read at this point.
I know.
really
It's
is.
great. All right. So overall, Shift is
you knew.
Shift is great.
Shift is good.
It's great.
I think I enjoyed the first one better.
Well, here's the
Or
thing.
more.
I've never seen a
yes,
book.
and
if
yes,
you realize
and no,
it,
and yes.
it doesn't further our main story,
No.
but yet it reveals
The world.
It
Oh,
reveals
yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
it's
like
a
before
brilliant-
we had all the numbers. Now we have the lines between
Yeah,
the numbers.
we're connecting the dots now.
Connect,
And- and the
drawing
thing
by
is, though,
numbers. We got that.
The first time I read this,
Maybe
is like,
even a little color.
wow, I really enjoy this book. Yet Juliet and the main story is gone from this, and I was
They
like,
were a side
that's
piece at the
wild.
end. They're
Yeah.
the
Wild.
epilogue.
Yeah, they're the epilogue. That's it.
Yeah.
They're the epilogue. And you're like, I've never seen that from a sequel book. But it was great because you got to learn so much
the thing
more.
is,
It's great.
Most series write their series and they come back and do the the
Yeah.
prequel book after the series is done. The sequel to this series is the prequel that gives you the backstory, and then everything moves forward from here. We're not going to go back once we get to the end. We're going to give you what
Okay.
we got.
What if somebody decided to read book 2 first?
I would not suggest
Well,
that.
I would say
your first time through. I
Your
would
first
not.
time through, but at the same time,
I don't know
think
that
it
you would
hurt
be
it
any
that
more
much.
lost.
I don't think it would hurt it.
No.
True.
So the mysteries that
but
you have in the
I
first
would not-
book, the mysteries you have in the
are
first
gone.
book,
a lot of them are gone.
are
The big mysteries are gone,
revealed
but you
in the
don't
second book.
know how they relate.
But you have several mysteries that would be created in the second book because you hadn't read the first book, and then you read the first book. It would.
I know what you're saying. I would not
honestly think
balance
that
out.
somebody could. Huh?
I don't know.
Now, I think I agree with Steven. It might balance out whether which one
I
you
think
read
that
first.
you could read the second one first.
I would
and
not
still.
suggest that. No.
I don't know that you
But
would
I would
be
say
any
this.
more lost
Well-
than you would have been. You're just lost. Would be
But
lost in
the
a
thing is,
different way.
I think the first book is a better book, and because you love the first book, you can give more to the second book. When
Yeah, I
you
don't
might
think
be
you'd be
confused longer.
I don't think
if you
you'd be
were
Yeah.
reading the
enticed.
second book first.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
be enticed.
Oh, can you
about the first,
imagine
second
reading
book.
the first
I'd-
2 parts of the second of the first book after reading the second one? Because those are confusing enough as it is.
Yeah. It's
like,
great.
Oh, here we go. Whoa, they're dead.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, so another great one. Another
Yeah.
great one. Dust. Dust is next.
I was a little worried that we were going to have to wait a while, or I was going to have to buy Dust.
Mm-hmm.
But right after I used my credit to get Shift,
You got another
about
credit.
2 days later, hey, your free credit is available. I'm like,
Oh,
hell yeah!
Dust.
So
Dust.
I can
Done.
start it
Now-
tomorrow if I need to.
So Dust is
Question for
done.
you, Matt.
Yes.
Are we going to cover the short stories in the next episode?
No, we're
We're
just
gonna
going
have
to
a
do
separate episode.
separate episodes for that. Dust.
Okay.
Dust is what we're doing next. We got to focus on Dust. There's too
Okay.
much
As
to unpack.
involved as we're getting in our analysis or just going through the story of these,
Yeah,
I can't
let's-
imagine doing more than one.
Yeah, well, Dust is going to be pretty big. But anyway,
Well, that
anyway,
just
let's
tells
wrap
me
this
that the
up.
short stories must be good
Let's-
enough to where
yeah.
they can. They need more than a footnote.
Yeah, let's wrap this
Well,
up.
we're
So
gonna have a short story read party or something like that.
Right,
where we just
something like
pass
that.
it back and forth or something.
Yeah.
Well, he's got. I've
because
got.
I don't have it.
I've
have
got-
you ever been to a
there
Turkish
is-
prison?
Thing is,
All
there
right,
is
here
a
we go.
collection
This is
of-
not. Let me
I'm
go ahead and
trying
end
to
this.
explain
All
this.
right, folks. We'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe.